This is my first kitchen vlog that I'm doing in support of my website. I was actually going to do these in support of my YouTube channel, but if you saw my last kitchen vlog, I'm not putting any more videos on YouTube. The last 2 tests that I did, which I didn't even make them public, so nobody got to see, just me. I wanted to see how the test would go. Those were flagged too. Anyways, here's the idea that I thought of. I can still write recipes. I can put them on my website. And what I can do is, rather than do these as cooking videos, where I have to spend money on food and do all the prep work and blah, 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 just feature the recipe and talk about it. And then if you're interested, you can buy the ingredients and make it yourself. I can just talk about what I've made and what my experience was, where I bought my food and so forth. Oh, but before I forget, an important public service announcement. If you should rearrange the furniture in your bedroom, say to accommodate a portable room air conditioner, I'm just saying, don't go into your bedroom at night without turning the light on first. Well, let me show you. This is what happened. If I can get this unbuttoned. That right there. And then a little bruise on this side. But mostly that. I took some skin off. What happened is I went to sit on my bed, but it wasn't there. And I just went right down to the floor. Hit the wall, took some skin off my arm. I can laugh about it now, but it wasn't funny at the time. I didn't even cuss. I was mostly just checking in. Any bones broken? I mean, at 67 years old, I think about this stuff now. Or am I 66? This is 2017. I'm 66. That's a jet going overhead. I'll let that make its noise. I do live near the airport. I always mention that. And sometimes you hear a train go by. Hey, it's a trailer park, folks. It's a trailer park. Okay. What I was going to talk about today was something that I had done. Do you like chorizo? I like chorizo. Maybe you don't know what chorizo is. Most people, I think, do. Usually it's made with pork, but you can get beef. You can get turkey. It's a very finely ground meat into a paste. It comes in a plastic tube, and it's got seasonings in it, so it's spicy. It's a spicy meat mixture, and it's good. I love chorizo. The way I eat it is the way most people do, is I'll fry some up in the morning, and then I'll break a couple of eggs in there and scramble the eggs up, and I've got scrambled eggs with chorizo. I love chorizo. But I got to thinking one day, I was eating chorizo, and I actually had bought some because I had done, I think that's correct. I'm a grammar freak sometimes. I had done a video on seared scallops with chorizo ragu. And I was experimenting, doing different things with chorizo because I had bought quite a bit of it. And I got to thinking, how difficult could it be to make your own chorizo? I mean, if they can manufacture it, why couldn't I make it in smaller batches, of course? So I looked at one of the packages to see what was in it, to kind of get a starting place, to see what I was going to need. If you know anything about the ingredients, and I'm sure you do, listed on packages, they always list the ingredients by what's in it most, and then in descending order. I don't know whether it's by percentage or by weight. I don't know that it matters. The first 4 ingredients in this package of chorizo that I looked at, the first 4 ingredients were pork, salivary glands, lymph nodes, fat. And I'm looking at this thinking, salivary glands? Lymph nodes? I got out my food encyclopedias. I looked up salivary glands here. Maybe it's a specialty. Maybe it's one of these gourmet delicacies that I never realized it. I never saw it. I never saw salivary glands in any recipes, even restaurant recipes. I never saw anything that used salivary glands. I looked it up in here, and then, of course, my most prized book, my Larousse Gastronomique Food Encyclopedia. I looked them up to see, is salivary glands something that's important that I should know about as a cook? Well, neither book, unsurprisingly, neither book mentioned it, and it's pretty easy to figure out that it was just simply a way of using up bits and scraps that they had on hand. Why not just grind it up with the meat? Kind of like hot dogs, you know. You don't know what's in there. Ears, lips, eyeballs. Who knows? Anyways, I decided I could do better than that. I mean, why not? So I went online and I looked at different recipes. And look them up. Look up homemade chorizo or chorizo from scratch. Look up the recipes. And a lot of them would list like lots of different spices. You know, a tablespoon of this, teaspoon of that, half a tablespoon of this. And I thought, why? Why do that? You can buy things like spice blends. Let me get one for you. I buy this at Costco. I buy the professional pack, and they sell it at the grocery store too. This is Pappy's seasonings. It's rather high in salt, but it's okay. I just don't put any salt on my food when I use Pappy's. It's a blend. It's got a lot of different ingredients in there. What does it say? Salt, spice, sugar, paprika, granulated garlic, granulated onion. When they say spice, who knows what's in there? Could be any number of spices, but it's a nice spice blend. And where I use this most of the time is when I'm frying fish. I buy the steelhead trout that they sell at Costco, and I like that. I'll put a little bit of steelhead trout, a little piece, in a skillet with some olive oil, just enough to cook the fish through without overcooking it. But I sprinkle just a little bit, tiny bit of this on the fish, both sides, just to give it a little bit of a spice note. It's good. So I got to thinking, you know, they already do the spice blend for you. Why use it? Why go out and buy all this stuff? Tablespoon of this, teaspoon of that, half a tablespoon of that. Use a spice blend. And if it's not this, they have other ones in the store. Like I've got one in the cabinet. It's a Grill Mates McCormick brand, Grill Mates pork rub. And I can say this in this vlog video. I couldn't say it in my cooking video, because for sure that would be flagged, but these aren't monetized. So you know how you rub your meat with a good spice blend. Anyways, so I can get away with that here. Anyways, I got to thinking about that. Why not just use a spice blend and then doctor it a little bit with some extra stuff? So what I did was I went to Costco and I bought something that I like to buy there as a source of pork meat. It's very inexpensive. It's pork shoulder. It's actually in the store. It's labeled as pork shoulder country style ribs boneless. That's the name that's on there. Pork shoulder country style ribs boneless. And I've used it in some of my other recipes. So I think I have a recipe and a video on my website for braised pork shoulder, something like that, or braised pork ribs, whatever it is. Good. I like that pork. It's kind of fatty, but that gives you the choice of, you can either incorporate that fat into, say you're making sausages. I've made sausages, Italian sausages and so forth, using that, or I'll buy another pork, what they call pork butt, because it's got a higher fat content, and you need a high fat content when you're making sausages. And on my website there are some sausage recipes and videos, or links to videos. The videos aren't on my website. Anyways, that's the pork that I buy, and it's only $2.79 a pound, but it comes in a big package. The package that I saw in the store when I went over there was $8.61. No, $8, 8 pounds, 8.61 pounds. And it was $24. See, that was, it's a lot of money to spend for pork, $24 for this big package of pork. But I could make up a lot of chorizo and just put it in the freezer. I did give away a couple of packets because there are a couple of people that I know who, they'll be honest. They'll tell me what they think. And both of them had it with their breakfast. They made scrambled eggs with chorizo, and they both said, "Dennis, you hit that one out of the park. That was just incredible." And what I did, another plane going overhead, was I guess that's going to be okay. I love living near the airport. Anyways, what I did was I did it in 2-pound batches. I cleaned up the pork, getting rid of the larger pieces of fat. I left a little bit of the fat in there, but I think there's healthier fat. So if I wanted a little more fat in my chorizo, I squirted in some olive oil. Why not? I got olive oil. Why not? It's a healthier oil to use. I mean, not that pork is the healthiest meat to eat, but why not avoid the pork fat and use a healthier fat in its place, or at least most of it? So 2 pounds of pork trimmed, and then I put in 2 tablespoons of this, but you could use 3 if you want it to be have stronger spice note. And then I put in a full tablespoon, maybe a little bit heaping tablespoon of chili powder. I use a mild chili powder, California chili, because I don't like it too spicy hot. But ramp it up as hot as you want. Use some of the hottest, like New Mexico. I think that's a hot chili. California chili is a mild chili. So a tablespoon of that, and then a good tablespoon of paprika. If you like more of a smoky flavor to it, you could use smoked paprika. Or there's another chili. Hold on a second. I can't recall the name. Okay. Or you can use ground chipotle or chipotle, however you pronounce it. Chipotle chili pepper. This has a smoky flavor to it compared to the regular chili powder. But see, that's the thing. You can make your chorizo the way you want, and you don't have to put up with salivary glands and lymph nodes, and you can use a healthier fat. And then what you do is you put the pieces. And what I do is I cut the meat up into little chunks, say about an inch square, ½ inch square, 3/4 of an inch, a couple of centimeters, little chunks, and put it in the food processor. 2 pounds was a lot. I found it was easier to just do a pound at a time, kind of cut it in half, and then put my spices in there, and then just give it a really good grind in the food processor. If you want it to be have more of a texture to it, a meaty texture, like say ground beef, don't grind it up as much. But if you want it to have that pasty texture, like you find in the chorizo you buy in the store, then really grind it up. You can make it any which way you want. And then what I did, I'll show you. This is frozen. I just put it in little packets like this. This is about 8 ounces. And I put it in the freezer. And I froze it. And I've got a bunch of them in there because I had 8 pounds of pork meat. And by the time I trimmed off all the fat, I probably ended up with about 6 pounds of pork meat. So figuring that these are 8 ounces each, right, 6 pounds, that's going to make 12 packets of chorizo. And like I said, I gave 2 away, and they liked it, and the rest I just put in the freezer. I got chorizo in there to last me probably most of the winter. I don't have it every day. But if I feel like having chorizo in the morning, what I do is I take one out, and I leave it in the refrigerator, and then have a little bit each day till the packet's empty. And then when I feel like having chorizo again, I'll take another one out and thaw it in the refrigerator. But that's the nice thing about doing something like that yourself. I don't have to show you a whole lot. I don't have to do a cooking video for YouTube. You know what a food processor is. You know what spices are. You know what a tablespoon is. It's easy to do. So that's something that I don't have the recipe on my website when I'm recording this, but I'll probably put the recipe on my website over the weekend. Today's Friday, so Saturday or Sunday, maybe Sunday for sure, I'll put the recipe on my website, Mobile Home Gourmet. I'll put the URL down there for it, and then just go into the recipe archive and look up chorizo. For sure you'll find it in basics. I'll promise you that I'll put it in basics. So that's my kitchen vlog in support of my website and in place of doing cooking videos. Didn't cost me anything because I've already got this stuff in stock and I've already got this made. So it's nice. It's easy. Thanks for watching, for listening, and tell people about it. And please subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. And thanks.